Is mic on? Episode 29. What's wrong with Orny Adams? Starts right now. Let me begin with this. I thought I was getting new luggage this week. I ordered off of Amazon a 29-inch rolling piece of luggage. That's the largest piece of luggage you can check without paying overage fees, right? Well, this box arrives yesterday. Let's start with what's wrong with this? Does this look like this would be the biggest piece of luggage you could check? This looks like a carry-on, like something you would put under your seat almost, or in the bin above you. It's not. This isn't. The minute it arrived, I said, something's not right. They sent me the wrong size. And then immediately I blame myself. I'm like, I must have ordered the wrong size. I'm an idiot. I have COVID brain. Why do I keep making mistakes like this? And then I shook the box. I go, it's kind of heavy. And why is it making noises like that? And then I got excited. I thought, maybe they sent me the wrong product. Maybe they sent me something worth more than my luggage. And I'll just pretend, I'll win on this situation. Well, on the outside, the sticker says exactly what I ordered here, the 29-inch piece of luggage. When I opened it up, and also if you look on the other side, it tells you immediately what's really in here is a Coronado large wooden French sketchbook easel. Now, I don't know what's with the French and their easels, but I don't need an easel. Look at this thing. This thing is heavy. This is my luggage. This is what I'll be bringing to Arizona this week. How do I even open this? Over here. Look at this. Look at this. Here's my luggage. Look at this. Thanks, Amazon. Now I have a new to-do. Now I've got to contact them and explain to them. All right, that noise is unbearable. Now I have to contact Amazon. I say, I have to explain to them. I go, hey, I didn't get or I'll do it. I guess you do it digitally. I didn't get a suitcase. I ordered a suitcase. And can I get my suitcase? Can I swap it out? I gotta get this stuff out of my eyesight. Driving me nuts. Stupid. Anybody want a French easel? It's French. That means it sounds like it's better than the other. So now I will not have my new luggage for my trip to Arizona this week. So what's wrong with having stuff delivered? I'm sick. I ordered something else. I ordered leather cleaner, and I thought it was 24 ounces like the one I had, but it said 12. I just saw the 2, and I thought, oh, I'm sick of it. Why do they have containers that are 12 ounces and some that are 24 ounces? Like, have you ever noticed, like, sometimes you go to some stores and like a big chain store and it's cheaper, but you notice that in the product, everywhere else, it could be cereal, it's 40 ounces. But in this store, it's 34 ounces. And that's why it's cheaper. But it's the same size box. It's the same size box. It's such marketing crap. They'll do anything to deceive you and get your money. Then also on Amazon this week, I got a mirror. Why? Because I want to make sure that my hair looks right with these headphones. I hate these headphones so much. Sorry to be ranting so much out of the gate here. So I bought this $10 mirror after I noticed it had 11,000 reviews. I said, it can't be so bad if it has 11,000 reviews. $10 mirror, and it came with a free comb, which I find presumptuous. Now, this is not open. It'll never be opened. I didn't get the mirror because I wanted to have combed hair. So I find this to be offensive. This mirror is offensive to people that want messy hair. That they would say, like, I don't need the accessory. But here's the weird thing about it. It came with a warranty card. I don't know why a mirror needs a warranty. I mean, really, the only thing that can go wrong, I think, maybe it falls out of the plastic. I don't. I mean, it's a $10 mirror. Who's returning it? It's got a warranty card. Look at this. It's under warranty. So I'm thinking of writing a review. I want to be the 11,001 review. And go, glad this mirror's under warranty because I've noticed in the few months that I've had it I'm looking older. I don't look as young as I once did in this mirror. 1 star, I'm returning it, this $10 mirror. But here's where Amazon failed again. And I'm not even making this up. When the guy delivered this mirror, I want to straighten this camera. It's driving me nuts. Oh, I hope that's right. When the guy delivered, and now it's not straight again. When the guy delivered the mirror, I said, I go to get it. I said, just leave it out there. I'll come get it. I waited a couple minutes. I go, oh, he's leaning up against the van. He's got the official Amazon van, which I always respect those drivers more. I think, wow, they must have been vetted like the Amazon Choice products. That you ever see that, the Amazon Choice? And you're like, well, what kind of vetting's going on in the Choice? It's not like they have a committee over there checking products and running reviews like Consumer Reports. I said, what's up? What's up with? I walk outside. The guy's leaning up against the van, which I take those drivers more seriously. I guess I probably shouldn't. And he's got his arms like this. I said, "How you doing?" It's good. Good. I think it was Memorial Day, whatever that holiday we just had. I said, having a good Memorial Day? No. So he said, no. What's up? He goes, I have to work. I thought, well, I thought this is positive, right? Don't we like working? I like working. I like making money. So I said, I guess it's good to be working. I go to grab my $10 mirror. And he said, because I like working up here. Where I live, whatever. I like working in your area? I said, well, what? He goes, I get a lot of tips up here. You know what he's saying when he says a lot of tips up here, right? He's trying to hustle me for a tip. Then he tells me, he goes, I got a $100 tip last week. I go, $100 tip? I got a $10 mirror. Not tipping. What is that? 100, 200, 10,000, 1,000%? Please tell me that math is right. I'm not tipping 1,000%. I'm not tipping. Do you tip your Amazon drivers? Is anybody tipping there? And he named a celebrity. He said, oh, this celebrity. Now, I never know if these people know me. I doubt they do. Guy tried to hustle me for a $100 tip, an Amazon delivery. And man, if he didn't know where I lived, I would have reported it. Well, you know what? It's probably why I got an easel, because I didn't tip the guy. All right, here we go. I just figured it out. Episode 29 starts now. Orny, Adam, warranty card. What do you got? We got Orny, Adam. Anybody want a comb? What's wrong with Orny Adams? Episode 29. What's wrong with flavored crackers? What's wrong with this documentary from 1969 called Salesman? What's wrong with Amazon? I just talked about it. What's wrong with Starbucks? I have a lot of problems this week. What's wrong with working out and doing your legs? What's wrong with spending days creating promos for your road shows? And then when you post them, what technology is absolutely taking up too much of my life, including this podcast. I love doing this, but there has not been one episode, including yesterday. I recorded the Salesman documentary portion of this episode 29, which I will insert in, and I invited a neighbor. It was great, but technical problems. I had somebody up here helping me with the cameras. We adjusted everything, and I think we got it right, but cameras were going out. I can't, you change one thing because one of the boards flickers on the camera, on that camera, it flickers over here. And so we had to change the frame rate, the ISO, the f-stop. So then you fix one problem, it leads to another problem. So here's the deal. Starting with episode 29, which you're listening to right now. And you will continue to listen to wherever you get your podcast, whether it be Apple Podcast or Spotify or Google or wherever. or you go on Anchor, whatever it is. That will continue to be free. Starting with episode 29, all video will be on Patreon. Patreon. Why is that? Well, the main reason is I put a lot of work into this. This episode 29, which is in 2 parts, will take me probably 4 days to edit the video because I'll do picture-in-a-picture when my friend and I are talking over this documentary called The Salesman. And all the equipment and the costs are getting ridiculous for hard drives, services for transferring data. And now the most important thing is I need a new video server because I'm not going to use YouTube anymore. As much as I enjoy YouTube, they flag almost every one of my videos for copyright infringement, which I understand. I understand. I don't like when people use my stuff for free, but I'm just using like a little bit. So when I want to do stuff like yell at the TV, or if I want to, talk over a clip, I can't do it on YouTube. It won't let me. It flags it. And I'm sick of that. I want to be able to use this stuff responsibly because I feel like when I'm using these videos, I would think people would be curious about it and go watch them and consume more of that product. But that's not the way YouTube does it. They just put strikes against me. Well, I'm sick of the strikes. So now I've got to sign up for Vimeo, which sometimes I call Venmo because there's too many V's, including Valentine's Day. So I'm signing up for Venmo. I've got let's put this up on the screen. Here we go. Let me take a look. What do we got here? That's not it. Let's go to, I want to show you here it is. So here it is. This is my Patreon. And there are 3 levels of membership. I might be doing this all wrong. I don't know. They keep sending me emails saying, based on your following, we can really help you. This was a decision I made because I wanted creative freedom. I wanted to be able to put stuff up like a graffiti artist. I don't want to ask permission to graffiti the building. And I think I'm pretty responsible. In fact, if somebody wanted to take a clip of my stand-up comedy, and which I own outright, all my comedy clips, and they wanted to put it on their podcast and talk about it, I would think that might lead to more work, right? Why not? So here we have 3 membership levels. I might be doing this wrong, but there's a $5. You start with $5. You want $5, you get the video. You can watch this episode, which you want to see me struggling with an easel. You want to see me talking over the Salesman documentary with my friend. There's a lot of visual aspects to this podcast now. You want to check it out? $5 a month. You get the video. For $10, you get the video maybe a day or 2 earlier. I haven't worked this all out. And then you get exclusive video of entire shows. I don't know what that means. Maybe I should understand my Patreon page. And bonus episodes. So like on this one, on episode 29, there'll be the audio version of this episode, which will have some of me talking to my friend yesterday and sort of queuing up us talking over this movie, which it's unbelievable, this movie about these Bible salesmen. But I'm not going to play the movie in the audio portion of the podcast because it just doesn't translate. You really have to see this visually to understand. And the audio is not that, it isn't as great on that movie. But if you see it, you can see their lips moving. Anyway, it's going to take me 3 days to do picture-in-a-picture and select which angle and all this and crap. So that will be a standalone, what we would call bonus episode. So in tier 2, you would get that full, it's an hour and 50-minute discussion. Because I'm just starting this Patreon, I believe I will put that in the $5 just to show you guys. You know what I mean? Like drug dealers, I get a little, here's a little sample. Here's a little, try this, come back for more. But I would appreciate if people would support me. So it's patreon.com/Orny, O-R-N-Y. I finally got something that's just Orny. So I'm so excited. If you feel compelled to support my cause. I'm doing this because I feel like at this point I deserve. I've done 28 episodes. I've given everything away for free. I work full time on this podcast. I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning again, writing, which I don't mind being up in the middle of the night as long as I'm productive. So I was writing. I started writing down thoughts for episode 30 and the editing and all the production costs. I've absorbed all of it. Now, if you'd like to join Team What's Wrong, you can be for $5 a Team What's Wrong player, for $10 a Team What's Wrong captain, and for $15 a month, Team What's Wrong MVP. And I could sell it to you like the Bible salesman people do. They say, what's $1.25 a week to you? What is that? It's a couple of packs of cigarettes. That's what they kept saying. What is that? A cup of coffee at Starbucks? Oh, I got to tell you about Starbucks. What's going on with their quality control? What is it, an assembly line? It's not high end anymore, especially now that you can't even put your own cream in an equal, and you have to yell through a plexiglass with your mask on. And they're like, what? What's that? You know what shows up? A Big Mac in the window. They've become, they don't even know. They have people working there now that don't even know how to grind the coffee. I get an Americano, it's all watered down and then like half cream. Like I'll go light cream. And I'm pretty loud. I don't know how other people that aren't loud get through the mask and the plexiglass. They need one of those like at the bank. Yeah, could I get a Americano, please? Light cream. Now, light cream to some people, there's no consistency, means fill up 3/4 of the cup, meaning like really light, like the coffee light. So here's the thing, Starbucks. Stop charging so much money if you're just going to be an assembly line. I believe early on, and like most things in this world, the intention is correct. But what happens is, as they get so big, they can't even hire and train people properly. I don't blame the workers. I don't blame them. They're just pressing buttons and whatever. But there used to be love. They used to call it out. What? Americano, light cream. We got it. We got a triple latte. Da-da-da. Like they used to have fun. Starbucks was, it was an experience. Now to me, might as well just have one of those vending machines where I press what I want, like in the old hospitals, and just let it drip out. There's no love, and that's fine, Starbucks. If that's what you're going to be, great. But don't charge premium prices. And I try and go to independent places as much as I can, but sometimes you're just running down the street and you see Starbucks and you go, this is going to be easy. But I'm telling you, and I'm not asking to send me anything, Starbucks, but the last 3 Americanos I've gotten, I wanted to just smash on the pavement and get my money back. I felt ripped off. Is that the way you want your consumers to feel? Ripped off? Now I got to speed this episode up because I already have 24 minutes of me and my friend talking yesterday. And then I did the comb, I did Amazon, I've done Starbucks. I got to do this now. And I don't want these episodes to go too long because I wonder maybe if these were not as long, people would listen more, share more. Who knows? It's all a formula. I'm going to get into the marketing formula in a few minutes. So let me get out of this screen and, or not. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. And at the end of this episode, I will be answering questions from fans that sent in of all my viewers. Everybody that listens to this and watches this, and there's a decent amount. 4 people took the time out of their busy schedules to send me in a video. 4 people. I mean, I'm shocked. Now, maybe people don't feel comfortable on camera. I understand. I'm only answering videos. I'll answer these 4 videos about my stand-up comedy because I want people to be engaged with my stand-up comedy as much as they are with my role in Teen Wolf and with this podcast and other things I do in life. I feel like I excel most on stage as a stand-up comedian. That is where the message comes through the strongest. This is inferior. but I still love doing it. And I think it's a different form. It's like, running a marathon versus a sprint or some sports analogy that makes better sense than that. Okay, now going back to the last episode, or the last two episodes, where I was discussing, if I could take a look at the screen behind me, here's the New York Times, the actual article from when Borg and McEnroe played, and I think it was 1981, and McEnroe hit the ball out of bounds to even up what he thought was a bad call against Borg. And I noticed when I was reading this, I printed out, because I now have transcripts of the New York Times. So I printed out, and I was reading the article on the air, and I thought to myself, I think they misspelled commitment. Look at that, COMMMITMET. Now, I don't think commitment has 3 M's. But, I'm not the smartest speller. It's not one of my strengths. So I thought, Now, this is where I'm sure most people on this boring planet, their relationship with this misspelling ends. Well, not for me. Not for me. Now I'm intrigued. Is this one of the translation robots screwing up? Was the print, because if you look at the print behind me, the print is sort of blurry. So maybe the scanner, because I assume this is all done digitally. It's scanned and put in. So now I want to know. Now I want to track down the original article from January 16th, 1981. And I found a really small one, and I tried to blow it up, and I couldn't. And then I found in the archives, with the help of somebody, because I didn't do this all on my own, the original article. And I went to the paragraph where Borg said, I was very upset who, like McEnroe, declined to acknowledge the umpire as the players left the court. Borg's firm commitment, 3 M's, underscored how strongly both players treat the sport's most attractive matchup. 3 M's. Well, when I was a kid, in my house, we had the New York Times and the Boston Globe delivered every day. My parents still do. Talk about it on stage. Come see a show. And to find a misspelling in my family of the New York Times was like a coup. Or the New Yorker. If you could find a misspelling. Because they prided themselves on editing and making sure. Well, these 3 M's appear in the print edition of. I found a misspelling going back to 1981. And I'm going to share this with my family. My dad will be as intrigued as me. So you want to know how my mind works and what's wrong with Orny Adams, and the essence of this podcast and the essence of my stand-up comedy is I'm so curious. I'll be up in the middle of the night. Sometimes somebody says something to me, and then like a day later, I'm up in the middle of the night just thinking about it. And it just sort of starts to resonate and percolate, and it comes up. And and then I want to answer that person. My grandfather was like this. I remember this about him. He would carry a piece of paper and go, remember last month when you said this to me? Well, I have an answer now. And that's so the essence of my comedy is I want to dig, and I'm digging, and I found this article, and sure enough, it was misspelled, and I had to know it. And I know it. So there you go. Misspelling. Now, it is an exciting time for me because I want to share with you, I want to tee up what will be on my Patreon, which is a video of me and my neighbor talking about this documentary called Salesman from 1969, where these Bible salesmen in Boston and Miami and Chicago, it's so depressing, but it's a great, gives you really a landscape of what America was like in the 50s. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch how the men talk to the women and all the smoking, but I invited my neighbor over, and we had a nice discussion beforehand because remember the scone I was so excited to eat at the end of episode 28? It's all I could talk about. Well, wait till you hear what happened. So this is me and my friend yesterday, and we're going to talk for about 24 minutes, and then it goes into the documentary. I'm going to air the first 24 minutes on this podcast, the audio. It's very confusing, But all the video will be up on my Patreon. This is us talking yesterday. All right. Record. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things I have to hit record on. Anyway. You're on camera, but we won't use your name. How about that?
I don't mind that at all.
All right. Very good. How you doing today?
I'm doing just great. It's a beautiful day. I'm glad to be up here watching a movie.
Glad you're here. We're going to have fun. Well, this is the evolution of how this happened. I was at your house.
Right.
And you always have this channel on that plays
Old movies. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good movies without commercials. I mean, I'm basically just giving the name of it away. And it's actually comes with my basic cable, I believe.
Yeah, it's on nonstop.
At my house.
At your house. It is.
You know why? It's like a warm fire.
Yeah.
It turns my TV into a warm fireplace. And if I want it to be a torrent, I turn on the news. But
and then you get angry at me.
When I turn on the news.
No, you get angry at me when I don't like one of these old movies.
I get angry at you, yeah.
You call me
you
stupid,
don't like any of them.
Uninformed. Movies. You think?
Well, I just don't know how you have lived so long, especially if you're a comedian. You know, these movies express the essence of who we are as a human and our angst. And I mean, but
you're very attached to their acting. There are actors in it I've never heard of, and then you're angry at me for not knowing these actors.
You know, it was so funny. You bring up a funny story. Today, I was on my way here, and I looked up at the screen, and I said, "That's Miriam Hopkins." And I thought, I wonder how many people know that besides me. You know,
I bet her grandkids don't even know.
Miriam Hopkins and Betty Davis had one of the biggest feuds in Hollywood history, more than that whole Joan Crawford.
You're obsessed with the past. You're obsessed with the future, with aliens, but you care less about the present. You hate the present.
I teeter on the present between the past and the future. I rest on the past and I have optimism for the future, but it's not on the same plane, my future. It's like maybe even post-death future, which brings me to this movie, which is about faith. And I have a lot of faith. I don't want, whatever we say about this movie, it's about the movie. It's not about my opinion of faith. I just want to give that disclaimer.
Okay, just in case the Lord is watching.
I talk to him every morning. It's fine. And I talk to him kind of like through my dog, but that's a whole different story. I do have faith and I do believe in the futures. Listen, I don't know.
Didn't you have a crush on your pastor?
Pastor Brown. Yeah, I was raised a Baptist in the First Baptist Church of the town I was in. And, oh my God.
Pastor Brown was a good-looking guy?
Let me put it this way. Yeah. I was the youngest of 3 boys, and my mother and father. 5 of us lived in the same house. But my aunt, who lived around the corner, she went to the church. And one day she took me. And all of us. She took all of us. But I was the only one who liked it. She thought I liked it because I was like calling. But I wasn't really calling. On the pulpit, I saw Pastor Brown for the first time at like 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally that love affair led me to want to be in his arms. Uh-huh. So I wanted to be baptized, which is the Baptists, the reason they're Baptists is they believe you have to be fully immersed. Uh-huh. So he takes you you're wearing this gown with like barely anything under it. And he just takes you under the water and he pushes you down. And he lifts you off. And then he hands you a white carnation and you look into his eyes and you're like,
it's like a date that ends with a flower, huh?
Yeah.
And you move the mic away a little bit.
Really...
You're popping a little bit on the mic. Just push the mic, maybe. I don't know what. Yeah.
Yeah, and you get a flower, and it's short, and you get really wet. That's the perfect date. Mm-hmm. And you don't even know why you feel the way you feel.
I'm starting to sweat. But it's, yeah. What was so attractive about Pastor Brown to you?
He had like tan hair. Not blonde hair. The next person I saw that looked like Pastor Brown was Robert Redford. Oh God! And the way we were when he's laying on that bed and he's drunk. That's religion.
Didn't your mom bring you out here and you met some notable religious figure, and the guy tried to set you up with some woman or something, or what is that story? There's some weird story, isn't there?
Oh, you're amalgamating 2 stories.
That's fine.
The one that is most saliently important to what we're talking about today is I told Yeah, you're really mixing them. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
and you've got quite a little mind, don't you? Anyway, no, my mother, I told her I was gay before she came out to visit me for the first time in Los Angeles. I was 24. I left Philadelphia, basically, which is where I'm from, and I moved out here at 24. And like at 25, my mother decided to come visit me.
Right.
But what she didn't know, well, I told her I was gay. That was awkward. But the reason why I told her I was gay, or it's not hidden, is because I had a roommate who in 1985 he's the most beautiful man. He played Prince Charming.
A lot of beautiful men in your life.
And
apparently.
the Disney thing. Yeah, but he was just a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And he was such a great mentor to me. About all things. And anyway, so he said, well, your mother's not going to stay at our apartment if you don't tell her you're gay. I mean, he's on my level. He's just my roommate.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to tell her. And then when she comes out here, she met him. And he's like a very nice man.
Yeah.
He's very appealing. And I remember the only way my mother could deal with it is she said, can we go to see the Crystal Cathedral in Garden Grove, which is from Robert Schuller. So she took me down. We went down to see the Crystal Cathedral, and she introduced me to Robert Schuller. And she said,
But who's Robert Schuller?
she said,
Okay.
"Oh, he's a famous TV
Famous. That's what I'm
preacher."
saying. Yeah.
And in this beautiful glass building that the people built. Anyway. So she introduced me to Robert Schuller, and this old lady interjects, and she said, oh, your son, he's so handsome. I have just the girl for him. And my mother just cried because she was there because I was gay. And this poor woman just did, and she like fell into Robert Schuller's arms, just like I fell into Pastor Brown's arms. And my mother, she didn't get a carnation, but she got a pink son.
That's nice. But they were accepting of you, right? Your parents?
Yes, and my father's still alive. Yeah, he is. Listen, I don't really define myself by my sexuality. That's for sure.
Right.
I'm not that it's just I have other neuroses, that keep me out of that thought.
So let me ask you a question. This movie, which we're going to watch about Bible salesman in 1969 in Boston and Miami.
Yeah, actually, it was filmed a little earlier. I think it was almost filmed in I'll say 62.
Okay. Am I, as someone of not this faith, am I allowed to comment on this, what I call a con job?
Yeah, because we're commenting on the movie.
Okay.
We're not commenting on, I think that's important to say.
Right.
We're not really commenting on what the belief, because I think a lot of what you'll see, and I'm not that familiar with this film, I haven't seen it, is a lot of desperate people, and you're watching them. He almost comes in, as almost like telling them that the way they pray, their faith that maybe that they've grown up with as part of their tradition, might not be enough. You also need this talisman, this Bible. At least that's how I view the film.
Yeah.
And I think a lot, I would feel, if I was a person of faith that had my act together, my faith, and he came in and told me it wasn't enough, my instinct, if I was smart enough to put the two together, how it was being manipulated, I'd be a get out of my house.
Right.
Plus, he's trying.
So, do you consider yourself religious?
Not religious. I like tradition, but a man of faith, I would say, or I wouldn't get up in the morning, and sometimes it's hard to do.
Interesting. Yeah. So, what I was saying was, at your house, these movies are always on, and we'll cook and we'll have some drinks and watch.
We'll talk about life.
We comment nonstop, and it's so funny. And we were watching this one. I said, stop this movie. We have to do this for the podcast. Now, here's the problem with the podcast. You can no longer, for some reason, everything I put up on YouTube, I get flagged. They flag my content for copyright infringements because I use other videos and audio clips. Basically, I feel like I'm doing them a favor. I'm doing you a favor. I'm promoting content which is going to lead to more views, and it keeps getting taken down. So the solution is to no longer host my videos on YouTube, but host them on another site like Vimeo, which I've called Venmo because I'm old and I confuse everything. So I think starting with this episode, which is episode 29, it will now be on Vimeo, but in order to watch it, you have to go sign up at Patreon and pay to watch the video. So starting on episode 29, audio will be free. That's yours. Commercial free until commercials start being inserted. Video will be free, commercial free on Venmo, but you got to pay. It's like $5 a month. There are a couple of tiers. There'll be options for stand up, but I'm just saying, I've been up since what?
I can't wait to see you introduce your first commercial. I just love that. I hope you like a Johnny Carson. You have to hold up a bottle of Listerine.
Oh, I'm going to do one right now because I was at your house the other day, and whenever I'm at your house, well, first of all, let's get into this because you're a fan. You're a fan of the podcast.
I am. I listen to it when I run. I find it. Yeah. Well, I know you, and sometimes I'll be running, and I'm listening to you, and you'll say something, and I'll answer you because it sounds like you're on the phone and I'm talking to you, because I probably just was, and I'll be like, wait, Tom, this is a podcast. This is
right. It's great. We live in a neighborhood where everybody is very friendly, and people just walk on and off people's properties, and I walk into your house all the time, and you walk into mine.
It's a little bit like the Waltons here.
Yeah,
you're like Godsey. I'm Olivia Walton or something.
But on episode
coffee, because I make you coffee.
Yeah. Oh, you make the best. I mean,
thank you.
Yeah. But so the last episode, when I'm done with this, all I want to do is consume carbohydrates, and all I could talk about was this scone. This like whole wheat multigrain scone, and I invited you over because I had all this extra food, and I said I'm just gonna cook this stuff. Come over and eat. And I was in my office and I'm like playing with some stuff, and I come out and you're like, this scone is amazing. I never got to eat my scone.
Well, you knocked down the barriers because you just introduced me to mezcal, and you gave me a glass of mezcal, which then that weakened me enough. It's so odd that I don't normally eat your food.
But who eats somebody's scone? There's one scone on the counter. It wasn't like a basket of scones. You've gone on
my cabinet and you've eaten oatmeal raisin cookies. I know you have.
Well, I've eaten plenty at your place. I mean, I just walk it, but I would never eat if it was the last one, like you had a banana on the counter, and I'm like, I want that banana.
You can go to the store and get more.
Why do I have to go to you can't. The place I get it at does not have that multigrain. So I went back to get another one to reward myself today.
Right.
And they just have a ginger scone. That's what I have.
You have to try multiples. I'm sure that's too short.
But who eats?
I mean, until you get satiated,
who
keep going,
eats somebody's
baby.
only thing on the, I mean, you'd say, hey, are you saving this scone? Is this scone? You just went right into it.
Well, in defense, it looked like it had been unwrapped and maybe a corner had been taken out of it. So I kind of figured you didn't like it.
Okay,
or I thought you would have eaten the whole thing.
Doing me a
favor. Since you left any of it there, I thought he must not like this.
And I already am angry enough that you can eat whatever you want and you never gain weight. Never gain weight.
Well, that's a lot of work.
You know, me.
I'm getting sick of caring so much about that stuff.
I am too.
But I guess I probably always will because I always have.
I don't want to get into the details, but a woman called me fat the other day. I don't want to. We've discussed
That's ridiculous. Women, I mean, people will call, and not women, that's not disparaging. I take it back. But people will do anything when they're desperate and angry. And I suspect, if somebody passes you and cuts you off in traffic, people say all kinds of things they don't mean. And girls say people say fat when they shouldn't.
She goes, you're kind of fat. She goes, but it's okay. You're working on it. I'm like, it's not going to get better.
Well, at least you're working.
It hasn't gotten better since I was 12.
Know you were working on it.
But
by the way, what are you doing to work?
I'm going to the gym and getting very little done. So I went into your cabinets the other day because I go, I'm paying this guy back, and all you had was 3 things of Triscuits.
Yes.
And I said, why do you have 3 things of Triscuits?
It's not enough.
And you said...
I said, I should have 33 because that's my earthquake supply. You need stuff like that. I can't get a loaf of bread that's going to keep me through 2 months without food.
Okay, so for 2 months...
Triscuits and peanut butter is what I will eat.
So for 2 months, you're just eating Triscuits and peanut butter?
If things get bad enough, I got Triscuits. Listen, I got Triscuits, peanut butter, tuna. I have some bottled water, which has been a long story.
Yeah.
I also have my pool. And
pool?
I got a shovel.
What are you going to do? Drink the pool water?
Well, no, I might have to pour it down the back of the. I have it all figured out. Back to a toilet tank so I can flush it. Please flush my toilet because all the water.
Well, here's the deal. I love Triscuits too. We eat the same ones. These
low
fat.
Food,
yeah. Well, I mean, I buy them too occasionally,
I like
but
them too.
I'll gain weight if I notice if I ever buy a box of wheat thins, I'm up 3 pounds the next week.
Triscuits are better because they're not as good as wheat thins, and they do sate you. They satisfy your hunger more because they're fibrous. And drink some water with them, and it's kind of a diet issue. It's a diet aid.
Yeah, nothing's helped me. But I went out on a limb. I was very excited because I saw. Here's my first non-commercial. It's for a product called Triscuit Rosemary Jalapeno crackers with chia seeds.
Am I supposed to say I like them?
No, you don't have to because they're not a sponsor. I would sponsor the low-fat regular Triscuits, but these neither taste like rosemary nor jalapeno, and I don't see the chia seeds. In the picture, I see chia seeds. Try it. You tell me.
One?
That's for you.
I like it. No,
you
I'm
can
not
finish
taking
those. It's
this home
disgusting.
with
I
me.
think they're too salty.
I
Tell me what you think. Be honest.
Why would anyone do this? Hold on.
I don't know who they're.
Oh God, no, really, aren't they? Taste like.
Are you overacting or?
No, I'm not.
Because you put it like
You know, they taste like barbecue potato chips.
No, you're like a little kid. You didn't
No.
even put it in and really.
It's in my mouth.
Okay. But
It tastes like a barbecue potato chip,
but
which I
take-
grew up with.
take
as a
one out
child.
and tell me if you see chia seeds in there. Do you taste any rosemary?
I see one chia seed at the bottom of the bag.
But you don't taste any
that or a
rosemary.
flea.
They're salty.
No, dude.
Do you taste any?
For the audience, remember 1963 when this movie was made? Getting barbecue potato chips, Wise at the store, Wise potato chips.
That's what it tastes like. But
Exactly.
No, but
I
stop.
hated 'em.
Stop. You're getting ahead. Do you taste rosemary?
Getting there to myself.
Do you taste rosemary?
No, not
No.
at all.
Do you taste jalapeno? Is there any kick to it at all?
Now it tastes like Triscuit.
Yeah, I mean, I've had those for over a
I
month.
know.
That's how
and
bad
they
it
leave
is.
that shit on your lips. When you lick your lips, my God, I'm gonna be tasting these forever.
I did 3 shows last night in Hollywood. I went to the Laugh Factory, then I went to this outdoor venue called the Whitley, and my 3rd show was at the Improv, and I'm happy to report. Do you want these? You can take them home.
No, I love Triscuit though, just not those.
Yeah. I'm here to report that I went 3 for 3. I enjoyed all 3 shows last night in Hollywood, which is very
Oh, you did?
rare.
That's great.
Yep. I did some new, I don't want to get into it, material about perhaps we have a homeless problem here in Los
Oh,
Angeles.
you think?
Yeah, and I opened with that, and I
You open?
I did open with. I opened with because sometimes when you open with new stuff, the audience can sense it, and then it puts the whole show on a beautiful track. So it was
interesting.
Yeah, it was great.
It also it sets a tone as you're.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about you. You are real. I mean, this is how you really are.
Yeah.
You know.
And then I noticed that every comic that goes on after me has to comment on my act, and I'm getting tired of it.
Well, you're every man in your act. I get that they might want to do that because you come off as very real.
But last week at a club, a comic, I won't name the comic, said that he's really that Orny guy, really loud.
Really? Oh, loud.
He goes, I can only listen to him for like a minute. I'm like, why would you say that? Like, if you want to say that,
He said that to the audience.
to the audience, and the audience didn't like it.
Followed you.
Yeah, the audience didn't like it because the audience liked me. So here's my thing, and he's older, and he's a comic I used to really respect. And I'm telling you this: follow me without commenting on my act,
Yeah, right.
or say something
None
to
of
my
your
face.
business.
You know, don't. It's passive aggressive to get up there.
He said, "What again?"
And then he came up to me afterwards, and he said, "Hey, you don't mind what I said?" And I said, "Well, it kind of sounded like you meant it." So I actually do.
What did you say? A lot of you is hard to take. Is that
He
what you
said he's Orny. He said Orny Adams.
Yeah.
Man, he's loud. I can only take it for like a minute.
That's inaccurate. I'll tell you that. It's from I'm smarter than he is, and I'm sure I don't know who this man is. So he's not successful and he's old. So it's like,
No, he's very successful, and
yeah.
he's a good comic. But I'm not going to take away from.
Well, maybe he's so comfortable in his skin he says a lot of stupid things.
But I noticed, like even last night, a comic got on after me and said, "Wow, he's still worked about all this stuff, worked up, and still upset about this stuff after being a year." And so, I mean, it's just like, just get up there and do your show.
Yeah.
Don't use me as a transition. And I'm only bringing this up because it's frustrating to me, and I feel like they do it to get into my head. They do it to send a message. They do it to cut me down. And listen, there are plenty. If you don't want to go on after me, I'm looking at you. I'm talking to you right now. If you don't want to follow me, and I understand that, ask the venue to put you on before me. I'd be happy.
Oh, you're gonna squish them though.
I'll be well. This guy went on after me, and I'm saying go on whenever you want. If you don't like my energy, I get it. Are you going to call Mick Jagger loud? Are you going to make fun of Mick Jagger for running around the stage? It's theatrics. Like if I stand there and just talk to the microphone, I fall asleep. I get bored.
Oh yeah.
I'm respectful. I don't love everybody's comedy, but I don't say anything to the audience about it, and that just really bummed me out. And I'm bringing this up because this is episode 29 of What's Wrong with Orny Adams, and I have a special guest who is remaining anonymous but is sort of on camera. We think we'll see how this plays out. We're having technical difficulties today. I had a camera expert up here, and now this camera's got some the buttons are weird. That camera, the display's not on, but you see it, right? If I put
Yeah, I
see
see.
camera, yeah.
You know what the thing is? It's that thing about life when you call somebody to make your life better, like even if it's a dishwasher repair, and they leave and they've actually left your life worse.
Yeah.
Maybe even they fixed your dishwasher, but they scraped your floor.
That happened to me. The washing dryer guy scraped my floor, and then they
brought it.
Then they put.
I knew I'd get you started. Yeah, that's why I didn't say that. You know.
No, we had that camera was flickering when it would look at the board, so we fixed that. But now when I go like this, my face goes. The hand goes in focus, face out of focus.
Well, that's all right.
So it's like, I don't know. You can't get anything. But
sounds like the Wizard of Oz.
Episode 29. What's going to happen is I'll play this stuff. Okay, but the actual us talking over this documentary will not appear in probably the audio, but there will be a video of this on my Patreon. So you can now see this because I can't put it on YouTube. So now I have a new expense, Patreon. I have all these subscriptions. Every day you see packages being delivered. I have so much equipment. I've put out so much money, and I'm getting nothing back, which is fine. I don't mind.
Wow.
There are the Hell's Angels coming to pick me up.
There's a helicopter too. No, I heard the Hell's Angels in the helicopter.
Well, I only said Hell's Angels because you were just talking about, which ties into this movie, Gimme Shelter, the Rolling Stones movie in Altamont, where there was a stabbing when the Hell's Angels were doing security. So that's why
Livermore, I believe.
I had Hell's Angels in my head. But
now it's quiet.
On episode 29, if you want, I will put up the video of us, and these cameras are going to die any minute, so we've got to, because they're on battery, so we've got to get into this. But I don't know what I hit. I want to go to bed. I just want to quit this podcast. Can I be successful enough that somebody can come up here and run all this shit for me?
I already thought you were. I can't believe you do all this by yourself. It's unbelievable.
Because if I don't do it, it tends not to be done right. So we're going to get into this movie, but I did want to say in episode 29, tomorrow I will record. I've got some stuff I want to talk about, including I have a comb that I might give away that came with. This will be the opening of the podcast. I have a new mirror.
You're showing the public that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I want to talk about this because I have something funny to say about that. I have some other things, and I've also taken some questions. I believe I'm up to 5. 5 of my listeners, of all the people that listen to this, actually sent in a video asking me questions about stand-up comedy. So I want to talk about it, and I want to talk about my shows that I did last night and how much fun I'm having. And I'm off to Tempe, Arizona this week, and the week after that, I will be in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
And you made a great promo about being at Tempe.
Porno. Where's your head at? Wait to see the Bridgeport one. I have a new Bridgeport one today. So, Tom, cue this film up. 1969, Salesman documentary.
David and Albert Maysles. Not just called Salesman. It's about a group of mid-century Bible salesmen. And I think a lot of the film will speak for itself. I will say one of the things that people have said about this movie is there wasn't supposed to be a star, but there is a star, and his name is Paul.
Right.
And he's sort of like this. If you've ever seen Grey Gardens, which is probably the Maysles' most famous movie, at least I think
love
so.
that one, and we've watched that one.
That's the same kind of kooky character, but just in a different direction. You know, Paul's pretty sad.
Yeah. Oh wow. So what happened was they went out to film this documentary and follow. How many people were they following initially?
I believe it was 4.
That's
I want to say 4. Yeah, there was a 4th. Well, we'll see. I think.
And one was in Boston. I love his accent. And then Miami.
And then they go to Chicago for a convention, I believe.
And what they do is they knock on people's door to sell a Bible that is worth, in today's money.
Well, I actually looked it up, like 408 or 4. It depends on where you look. But today I did look before. It's like 422 or something. $422 Bible.
And they're very manipulative, and they show up when they know the husbands are at work. Yeah. So let's just get into it. Let's. Can you see it on your screen?
Yes.
Okay. So these are the opening credits, and it's going to go. They go right into the hard sell, I believe. Oh, it's a Janice Films. I knew that.
I had a friend named Janice.
That excites me.
The best seller in the world is the Bible, for one reason. It's the greatest piece of literature of all time. It's really tremendous, isn't it?
Well, there you go. There you go. I don't want to play any more of that because of copyright reasons. But you get a sense what this is about. And it was a lot of fun, and really enjoyed talking. And I think you'll enjoy us talking over the video because there are such funny moments. There was a moment where one lady said, I don't need a new Bible. I've had one in the family. And he's like, what, for like 200 years? He goes, what are you going to read an old 200-year Bible? You know, like it's changed or it's outdated. Like these guys would do anything to sell the Bible. It was slimy. They'd show me, we're coming from the church. The Boston accent. We're here from the church. Well, they're not really from the church. Like it was just very scammy. And it really, really bothered me on many levels. And it bothered my friend. And he's Irish. No, definitely Catholic. And he had some great opinions about the entire thing. So let's get to this. So I hope you enjoy that. I really do. Let's get back to, there's my mirror. I'm just flipping screens here. Okay. I went on what I'm going to call an epic rant on Instagram. And this is about technology. Because somebody said to me, oh, you just put it up in your stories. You got to put it up in your something else. And you're putting it like everything. In fact, many people will email me about how I'm doing the Patreon wrong. They'll email me about how I'm doing this podcast wrong. Like everybody has an opinion about what I'm doing wrong. And I'm sorry, but I can't keep up with, Instagram and Facebook. I don't even know how to find how many followers I have on Facebook. I don't. I used to. I don't know what they changed, but I don't anymore. I can't keep up with this stuff. It's driving me nuts. Instagram has different ways to tell the same story. It's the same. We're giving you the same content, but every other month it's a new way to tell it, because it's like, well, if we don't disguise it a different way, people they're not going to tune in. They're going to go, have you seen Instagram's new feature? It's called throwback. It's called leap on. It's called this. It's stupid. Tired of it. And I went on. I finally, somebody told me to put it on whatever it is. I can't remember already because who cares? And I put it, and the video didn't sync up. And this person also told me, and the person runs a podcast studio, make sure the video is this way and post it at 2 p.m. Or make sure you have the perfect screen grab or screenshot. There's too much shit. Can't I just put out good content, which I think I'm doing? Oh, it hasn't worked in my stand-up career, so maybe I should play these little games, play to the algorithm, which is really playing to a robot. You understand? If people like stuff fast or look at it fast, it shares it with more people. That's what happened in this case. I went on this epic rant where I said something, then people in the DMs started being critical or offering more advice, and then I started answering it, and this went on for about a minute. I did, maybe 4 or 5 15-second Instagram stories, I believe. And it was so engaging that I gained 5,000 followers within 2 days. So maybe I need to be more like this. So I'm going to share this video behind me. This is from Instagram, and June 5th, 2021. Hey, somebody always has an opinion about social media.
Oh, my
Last
Lord.
time I showed some. I started in the middle of the video, didn't I? This was not queued up. Okay. All right, here. Okay. I knew it. That's why I was like stammering, because I'm like, the video doesn't start there. This is a promo that I put together. And I asked Heather. Heather's the one who sings the songs, creates original content that YouTube doesn't flag. Tremendously talented. So I said, I think it'd be funny if because when you play clubs, oh, it's so humiliating. They're like, could you say I'm in this city on such and such a date? You're like, oh my God, they'd never asked Bob Dylan to do this. And now my career is so pathetic that I have to do this. Oh God, I hate myself. I don't want to do, can't I just be funny and people show up? And the answer is no. So I got sick of doing these traditional videos. I used to do them, the old ones where I'd have a map. I'm going to be in Buffalo, New York. So if you live here and you start driving, and if you live in this area, you're 30 minutes away. You better buy it. And if you live up. So, I mean, I'm always trying corny hooks. It doesn't work. Nothing works for me. My marketing doesn't work and my content doesn't work. I really should give up. Okay, so here is a promo. I thought it'd be great if so what I do is I wrote a script out. I'm not kidding. For this 40-second video, I wrote a script out, and then I wrote my parts, Heather's part. Heather, you sing this part, and then I sort of imagine in my head her singing it, and so I send her the video of me, saying my parts, and then waiting for her to sing, and then she puts this thing together. I mean, it's remarkable how well this syncs up, and I credit her. So I did this. I posted on Twitter. It's fine. On Facebook, the audio doesn't sync. And on whatever the Instagram timeline, flash story, whatever their new pathetic option is, it didn't sync too. So I lost it. I lost it on stories, and maybe I should just be, more like this guy in public. So I'm going to play the promo first, and then it's going to go into me on Instagram. And then at the end, I'm going to premiere the new promo. So the first promo is me for Tempe, Arizona this weekend. I'll be at the Improv. And then next weekend, I will be in Bridgeport, Connecticut at the Stress Factory. And we're going to premiere the new promo. And probably won't sync up on any of these platforms either. Good news if you live in Tempe, Arizona, and you want to see me do stand-up comedy.
Orny's gonna be in Tempe.
I just said that.
Tempe, Arizona. Tempe rhymes with Orny.
It's a good point. How many comedians rhyme with the city they're performing in? Orny, Tempe. Orny, Tempe, Tempe, Orny. It's like peanut butter and jelly or something like that. Once you sing the information.
Orny's gonna be in Tempe, Tempe, Arizona, June 11th and 12th at the Improv.
So click, swipe, and invite. So corny. Okay, the first thing you should notice is I got a haircut since then. All right. So now I put that up on this because everyone tells me I'm doing it wrong. So I put it up on whatever this Instagram, whatever option is. I'll find out in 1 second. Boy, do I sound out of touch. And it didn't sync up, and I lost it. Oh, that's the end of the promo. Those are my credits. Can you believe that? I just put something on my reels, and the audio didn't sync, and guess what? I don't give a I'm tired of all this shit not working. And new shit every day. Good enough. Somebody always has an opinion about social media. Last night I showed somebody that something I put on my story, and they go, "Did you put it on your reels? Got to put it on your reels." I go, "It's on my story." No, got to put it on your reels and put it at 2 p.m. so more people see it, and make sure the video doesn't go this way, it goes this way. Here's update 1. I just blocked a stranger that told me to calm down in the direct messages. I don't need a stranger to tell me to calm down. I'm an adult. I'll do whatever I want. This is what I mean. Update 2. It's never enough. People always want more. This is in response to me being frustrated about the technology. See if when you have time, you can figure out a way to make it so people can share your stories as their story. More work! A fan in Iran said, check out Flashback. I'd like to flashback to 1980s. When there wasn't all this technology, life was easier. Lena said, imagine life without technology? Yeah, I can. It was simpler. And people were a lot nicer. Leah just asked in direct message, I have a question for you. What time is it there? Because here in Germany, it's 1:30 a.m. Well, I have a question for you, Leah. What's faster? Typing out, what time is it there, and waiting for a response, or Googling, what time is it in LA? What time is it in LA? I'm telling you, I get asked questions every single day that people could just find on the internet. Not my responsibility to tell you what the parking situation is at the venue I'm performing at. Not my responsibility to tell you if I have an opening act. These aren't even people I know. It is cumbersome every day. I'm just overloaded with people needing things. And I went to El Coyote last night. I forgot I had to do this morning, but one of my favorite restaurants in Los Angeles, I've been going forever, back when I couldn't even afford to go to real restaurants. It would be where I bring my dates, and I loved it. The food's, if you're drinking, it's great. The margaritas are great. And so went last night with a group of people. I forgot I had to get up early and do this. And but what a great time I had. But there was a guy there waiting outside to go in, kept trying to take my picture. And I can tell when you're trying to take my picture. I'm not famous enough for you to sneak pictures of me. Do you know what I mean? Like he's got the camera, and I can tell. So now I have to have my friends build a wall. Now it turns into like a soccer football match where somebody's taking a free kick. We got to build the wall. I'm like, stand in front of me and put your hands, cuff yourself just in case. Men and women, cuff your genitals. So this person kept trying. I'm not famous enough that you should be sneaking pictures of me. This is why I enjoyed the pandemic. There was none of this. None of me. If I sleep on a plane, somebody trying to sneak a picture. I'm not really that famous, and I'm super accessible. If you came up and said, "Hey, I like you," or whatever, I'm a fan. I've enjoyed your work. Do you mind if we take a picture? If I'm not eating or doing in a conversation, I'm more than happy to. It's very strange. And the person kept trying, and I would catch the person. And then they put the phone down and then try again, and then try sort of like sneaking the camera almost around the corner, like I'm standing outside the restaurant to the left, and like almost like he'd come out the door, and my friends were getting a kick. I wasn't getting a kick out of it. I want to be making hundreds of millions of dollars a year to put up with that. I also don't consider myself worthy of having my picture taken. I don't really, I'm just a dude, I'm telling you. Hang out with me, I'm just a regular dude. I'm not into celebrity at all. I love doing stand-up comedy, and I love being recognized for that. But you're not going to see me doing a car shield. Have you seen these car shield commercials? Where they've got like celebrities, car shield. It's an extended warranty for your car, and they have celebrities talking about it like they have the extended warranty. They're like, "Hi, I think Ice-T does one. Nothing worse than when your car breaks down and you have this expense. Well, that's why I have Car Shield." These are famous people. Famous people with money do not have Car Shield. I'm sorry. Car Shield's probably great for certain people. But if you have money, and I assume that the people doing these commercials certainly made enough money that they don't need Car Shield anymore, just doing the commercial. If you're a celebrity endorser person, you've got money, you're not getting an extended warranty on your car. They're like, "Oh, it's nothing worse than when your car breaks down. That's why I have Car Shield, so I'm protected." Bullshit. Be honest. They should walk out and go, "Hi, I'm famous, and I have a lot of money. That's why I don't use Car Shield," all right? Car Shield's for people like you, okay? Who work hourly. Yeah, you're strapped. You can't afford if your car breaks down. If your car breaks down, now you're taking public transportation. Well, you should get a Car Shield. I don't use Car Shield. You think when my car breaks down, I'm going to fill out paperwork and claim and wait to see if it gets approved? No. I just bring it in to the first shop I see, and I pay whatever it takes to fix it. Oh, in fact, I have so much money, I get a new car before the car starts breaking down. You should get Car Shield. And at the end, the tag is Car Shield, cars, go far. Car Shield. That's all they could think of for car to rhyme with cars. Far. They didn't even put any effort into this marketing. Hi, I'm Orny Adams. I did well enough that I don't have to have Car Shield. But, I know people that have Car Shield, and I'd like to recommend it to you if you are in fear of your car breaking down. And remember, Car Shield, well, what would my tag be? Car Shield, is for non-famous people. Car Shield. Oh, I had a tag in my head earlier. Car Shield is for, oh, this was, what a riff I was on. What an epic riff, and I just ruined it. Car Shield. People. Oh, it doesn't matter. All right, so let's, that's going to bother me. Okay. Listen, I gotta wrap this up. I gotta do fan videos because this is already in another long episode that wasn't supposed to be. Oh, let me play. Hold on. Maybe I'll think of the Car Shield thing. I'm gonna play this promo now for my shows coming up in Bridgeport. So this is Heather again, and I feel like we knocked it out of the park. This is a premiere of my promo for my shows coming up this month in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Enjoy.
Orny on the road.
Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Orny's gonna be at the Chef's Factory in Bridgeport
Yeah, I was getting to that.
next weekend.
That too.
Orny
But
at
hold on. I can't tell you how many times people have asked me, Orny, when are you doing shows in Bridgeport, Connecticut? And I would always say, well, as soon as they open a stress factory there. Well, good news.
You're gonna laugh till it hurts in Bridgeport.
That's good.
You're gonna laugh till you snort in Bridgeport.
Well, that's even better. So I'm inviting you to see me at the stress factory in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Sing the details.
Orny's gonna be at the Stress Factory June 17th to 19th in Bridgeport.
So click, swipe, and invite.
Click, swipe, and invite.
Rhyme that with Bridgeport.
Let's keep this video short.
Car Shield cars for people who didn't go far. That wasn't it. I got it. Hi, I'm Orny Adams. And I don't use Car Shield, but you should. Car Shield for people who aren't a big deal. Is it a wonder there's no sponsorship at all for this podcast? All right, let's do this and wrap it up. 4 videos from fans asking questions about my stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy. Got a lot of questions about your stand-up comedy. So I want to thank everyone that sent these in. Now, the people that sent in these videos, let me tell you, they don't have to sign up for Patreon. I will get you a link so you can watch this. That's fair. I shouldn't have people send in videos and then charge them to watch my response. That would be, well, they'd do a documentary about me, wouldn't they? Like the Salesman. Bop. All right, I'm bringing this way down to... All right, so I'm going to answer these. I haven't thought about the answers, so let's just have fun with this. And big hand for episode 29.
Hey, Orny, this is Charles Ames in
Hi, Charles. Hi, Charles. Oh, I interrupted him. That was rude. I got excited. I got a burst of energy.
Hey, Orny, this is Charles Ames in Lakewood, Washington. You can share all of this, 100%. I've been wanting to...
Charles, what's going on behind you? What is all this stuff? SECCP. This is, Charles, were you at El Coyote last night taking pictures of me? What is this? I just noticed all this stuff behind. Looks like there's a map over here with water. Huh. Well, Charles, you said I could share all of this. Do you mind if I criticize whatever you're standing in front of? Let's continue the video.
Right, but I didn't have anything to write about. However, I am
Hold
working
on a second. What did he say?
I've been wanting to write, but I didn't have anything to write about. However, I am working on a character for open mics, and someday I'll get your thoughts on it. Here's my question. Who were your influences?
Well, Charles, that's a great question. George Carlin for sure. And Sam Kinison, definitely. And a lot of the people that I admired and respected, you know, I found Eddie Murphy as charismatic as you could get and likable and beautiful to watch. I mean, that's why he's just as successful as he is. Now, the content of his stand-up is certainly questionable by 2021 standards. Woody Allen for his writing. And again, there's a guy that you really can't quote anymore, unfortunately. I don't know if you saw that documentary, but it just doesn't feel right for me to name those people as influences. Or, I mean, I'm not putting Eddie Murphy. That's how people talked in the 80s or 90s. That's just, it's a time capsule for the way men spoke and comedy and things have changed and evolved, but I have no problem with that. Woody Allen, So, but also, I read a lot of great comedy, and I've discussed, different writers. Oscar Wilde. I mean, you want to talk about real comedy writing, Charles? That's real comedy writing. And I would take, because Woody Allen was my influence, I'd take Woody Allen and he would talk about Benchley and Perlman and people like that. And I would read them, and then I would read who influenced them. And then, I remember going way back to like checking out books that hadn't been checked out from the Boston Public Library since 1920 something. I kept I have the cards somewhere. I have these boxes at home. My parents keep saying, can we throw out these boxes? No, because I have like old library cards from the Boston Public Library of books that I checked out. I kept the card because I was the first person to read these books since the 1920s. The other thing is, Charles, what you need to understand is that a lot of my comedy is like I discussed with my friend in the previous conversation that you just heard. A lot of it is, it's theatrical. So I took a lot from Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones, and I took a lot of my writing techniques, I know this is going to shock many people, from Bob Dylan, who changed his lyrics every time he sang a song, and he would change the performance aspect too. Like sometimes he would sing it like there'd be an acoustic band, sometimes it would be rock and roll, sometimes it'd be fast or slow or intense or soft or in a country sort of melody. So he was always switching it up. And I think he did it because he didn't want to get bored, and he didn't want his audience to get bored. And sometimes I find myself, when I'm not doing enough of that on stage, I get bored. Thank you, Charles, for the question. Let's go on to the next question.
Hi, Orny. This is Lynn from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Hi, Lynn.
And my question for you is this. How do you know when you've written something funny?
Well, I'll stop it there. This is a very easy question. When I look forward to telling it immediately, when I'm like, I can't wait to get on stage and tell this. I can just feel it. I know right away. Some of like my OnStar bit, which I think closed my second special, takes a third. I knew that was a home run out of the gate, and I don't think anything changed from Incarnation 1 to whatever. It never evolved. It was what it was out of the gate. Other things, you know they're funny, but you don't know how to relate it or say the information correctly. Like I wrote this bit about being from Boston and seeing people from Boston wearing hats and going, I'm from Boston too. And then one time I was in Boston and I said, I'm from Boston too. And they're like, we're all from Boston. We're in Boston, you idiot. That I'm yelling to people in Boston. So I haven't figured out how to tell that joke yet, but I will. I know it's funny, but it hasn't gotten there yet. Let me continue with you.
I know when I write jokes, I ask my friends, and sometimes they give me this pseudo laugh, kind of.
I would suggest not asking your friends. I would suggest getting on stage and testing it. When you tell a joke off stage, you denude it of some of the power. A joke should never be told off stage before you tell it on stage. The first time you tell a joke, tell it on stage, record it, listen to yourself, because you'll tell it concisely, laconically. Is that the word, laconic? Don't test material off stage before it's on stage.
Oh, then I know it's not funny. But
or get new friends, Lynn.
If it's a genuine laugh, then I know it is. But I was wondering if you had a way of testing out your jokes, or they just seem funny to you. If you use a certain element of surprise, definitely delivery is something. I myself am kind of funny looking, so I can kind of make it funny, even if it's not? Just wondering what you do.
I wouldn't rely on I'm funny looking, and I don't find you funny looking at all. I think you just need to get out there and do it. I know I've been doing this a long time, and like some people are just athletes, or some people can play. You ever meet people like they play like 5 instruments? I can't play one. So I'm not gifted in that category, but I feel gifted in stand-up. My mind works a certain way, and I see things funny, and I'm able to convey it most of the time. So, and I'm talking to you, so you just have to, I know it's funny. I know it's funny. I have a high success rate, and I'm on stage so often that I test it out on stage. I did 3 shows Saturday night. I've got several shows this weekend, and I go for it. This weekend, I opened with all new material, 5 minutes of new material, which infused and excited the audience because they could sense from me, this is new stuff. So you got to just get up there and do it and know inside. In fact, I would say if you have to ask your friends, it's probably not funny. You're going to know, because you're going to say, I cannot wait to get up on stage and tell those jokes. So just keep doing it. You got to get up on stage every single opportunity you have. If that means driving 200 miles to do 7 minutes, you do it. You do it. I did it early on. You do it. And knowing something's funny is something that just, it bubbles inside. And you'll know that feeling when you get it. Stick with it.
And Orny, what did you have to overcome to get where you are today?
I would
and
say...
what mountains did you move to get you where you are now?
What music are you playing in the background? I would say, like, is it hubris? Is that the word? Arrogance? I was... I admired Bob Dylan. And I thought, geez, Bob doesn't have to do these things. He doesn't have to talk in press conferences. He can act sort of aloof. And I also was sort of more of a character off stage because I was shy. And it wasn't until recently that I started sort of ingratiating myself into the community. So that was certainly one of them. Doesn't play well with others? I don't know. I haven't moved those mountains yet because I haven't gotten to where I want to be. So every day it's a struggle in the head and it's a struggle on stage, but I love it. I love the challenge of it. I love the research aspects of stand-up comedy, and I love cracking the code. It's a code. It's a code. It's absolutely a code. But I didn't have to overcome anything like work ethic or trying harder, or, I've been very fortunate with getting a lot of stage time in this business and a lot of work. So I would say for me, I didn't join a group. I didn't feel like I needed to be part of a group. And that was a mistake. When I talk to young comics, I say, hang out, become friends with these people because they're going to be your biggest resources. What I didn't realize was, comics, when they talk about other comics, they're going to propel your career forward more than anybody. They're going to create that buzz. I didn't realize that. And I was always this guy, I was hitting it out of the park on stage. It appeared, at least to me. And, when I see the audience's reaction, but nobody wanted to support that guy. And I still feel that way too. Like I talked about it with my buddy earlier. People all comment about me when they get off stage. Like I'm not a guy that people want to get behind for whatever reason. I blame myself for that. That's not even a question. Because I'm a guy that, and I see it in sports too. There are figures that are like this. So if you can ingratiate, either I was arrogant or probably insecure, socially awkward at times. I just wanted to be the best stand-up I could be. And I thought that would yield the results. And unfortunately, it doesn't. It's not about being the best comic. It really is who you know. It really is if you fit what they're looking for at the time to broadcast. So let's get to the next question. Thank you for that question.
Hi, Orny. Hello from Scotland.
Hello, Scotland. Hello. She sent me an email and I said, could you just put this in a question form? So thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. This is a fan from Scotland. I'm going to roll it back a little, or maybe I'm not.
Podcast.
Wait a minute.
I wanted to
say something about the podcast.
Scotland. Happy 29th podcast. I wanted to ask, in your experience of stand-up comedy and the comedy industry, what's your take on the sad clown paradox?
Okay. I would say there's probably just as many comics that struggle with whether it be depression or anxiety or whatever, that it's probably reflective of proportionally same number of people in the real world. It seems like a lot of people have these battles. I myself do not consider myself depressed. I write comedy when I'm happy. Like when I'm getting ready to do this podcast, I'm so amped up and excited, my mind starts generating more. I don't generate when I'm bummed. So although this may be the case, and it seems to be sort of discussed a lot, comics are sad, but when they get up on stage, and I do know these people, that they're happy, and that's the case for some people. It's not the case for me. So I don't believe in it to be, a truism across the board, because I stand as somebody that is not part of that sad clown paradox, as you say. Okay, let's continue.
To follow up with another question, in the 10 years that have passed, how do you think the comedy industry has evolved, and you think there are less comedians than before?
No.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There's actually more comedians than ever. And that's by somebody else's definition, because most people on stage, I don't consider a comedian. I have a higher standard. You have to be sort of breaking barriers. You have to be getting people to think, original topics. Like anybody can be funny nowadays because it's a formula. You see the formula in TV commercials. They're constantly ripping off truly funny people with mannerisms, the way they say things, the setup, the punch. Most people aren't coming up with this stuff. They're just up there like karaoke. They're doing what they saw somebody else do that got a laugh. And I think this business would be healthier if, and it's fine, if that's the type of comedian you are, that's fantastic. Enjoy the stage. But I wish when I turned on these streaming services, when I turned on TV shows, they really, really, really supported truly funny people. That when you look at them, you like, I did a show the other night, I'm not even going to say who, truly funny. And I'm not saying who, because that person wouldn't say me about anything. So maybe that's immature of me. But this person said something about me when they went on after me too. So, yeah. Comics. I guess I'm a comic. There are a lot of people on stage that aren't doing what I hope that they would do. I love when I look at a comic and go, wow, that's a strong angle. That's interesting. They're fun to look at. They're engaging. And you can judge whether I'm any of these things. But I spent a lot of time, like if you take my low T bit that I closed my last special, More Than Loud, with, you can see the way I got into it. Like low T is a topic that a lot of people talk about, but I said, as you get older, all of a sudden the TV commercials start talking to you. Okay, now we're interested. And that's what you do. And you get people to think, and you get people to go, yeah, that's me. It's relatable. Comedy should be relatable, but at the same time, you're showing them through a prism that they didn't realize or even have access to. Stand-up's a beautiful thing. Let's do this again. This has gone on longer than this episode than it should have. I want to thank the 4 people that sent in questions. Thank you very much. Very much. And I wish more people had, and more people would be more engaging. The email for this podcast is what'swrong@ornyadams.com. You can go to, teamwhat'swrong.com. This is episode 29. Let's close it old school. Old school. I really hope I get my luggage. I hope I get, because I have an easel, and I don't paint. It's a French easel, too. And stay away from Triscuits that are rosemary and jalapeno, but neither. And don't have chia seeds. Stay away. Orny. Adams. Put it together and what do you got? We got Orny Adams. Thank you, Ernesto Hurtado. We hung out the other day at the Improv. Another tequila drinker. Don Julio and soda. I'm on to you. I'm on to you, Ernesto. I did mine with 1.5 splashes of cranberry. Not 2 splashes, 1.5. What's wrong with Amazon? Get it together. Stop sending me broken products, too. I got a broken chair. There's no quality control. They just package the broken chair up and send it to the broken chair arrived in a box with labels, bring this down, with labels from other addresses on it. They didn't even take the old addresses. I saw where my chair had been previously, and it had been broken, and they don't fix it. They just send it to you. What's wrong with places like Starbucks? You're getting too big, and quality has gone to crap. Let's get back to a world where it's mom and pop and people really care. And finally, what's wrong with selling Bibles? Well, check out the video. It's on my Patreon. So thank you very much, everybody. Episode 29. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Oh, my name is Orny Adams.